hate me, don't you?
Tune in to Kons podcast.
Collect the beats. You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?
Hurricane Melissa is what they call him, the hurricane that's going to be sweeping through, heading towards Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? They say it's growing in strength as it approaches land. In Jamaica, they say is at 893, breaking records. You know what I'm saying? That is bigger than Hurricane Milton, the one that devastated through Florida last year. That is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I think that was at about 800. TikToker with David and Celeste Revis Hernandez. You know what I'm saying? The new information on that. Not too much information. You know what I'm saying? But definitely some new information came out on that. Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Diddy has got a release date. You know what I mean? Diddy has got a release date of May 8th, 2028. You know what I'm saying? Diddy has got a release date. Finally got a date for that. You know what I mean? They also believe that what's going on? What's happening? You know what I mean? It's episode 323. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's happening to everybody on this fine Tuesday? You know what I'm saying? October 28th. You feel me? It is 3:26 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? It's nice and cloudy. You know what I'm saying? Nice and cloudy. It's clear skies, but it's definitely cool outside at a good 73 degrees. You know what I mean? So definitely cool and all that out here. You know what I'm saying? The sun is gone. No more 100-degree days. Not even 80 degrees. You know what I mean? We are hitting that fall time, winter time weather. You know what I'm saying? Today is going to be an unedited episode. You feel me? So it's going to be unedited. So if a cuss word having to slip out, I'm just going to let it fly. This is, y'all know how these unedited episodes go. It ain't going to be too much of the cutting up of the audio. No more cutting out and all my breaths and all that. I'm going to leave all that in here this episode, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to edit this. I'm going to go through. I'm not even going to really listen to what I'm saying too much. Go to the parts where I put these clips in and keep it moving, you know what I mean? So this is going to be straight through, you know what I'm saying? No cuts. So yeah, if you new here, you know what I mean? This is where we go over the news, go over the headlines, touch over whatever been popping as far as a headline, as far as news, as far as whatever you might have seen when you logged onto your computer, whether your homepage is CNN, MSNBC, Yahoo News, Hip Hop DS, whatever the case may be. I'm probably touching on one of them headlines right here on Kons Podcast, you know what I mean? So keep it locked, share this and tell somebody about it, you know what I mean? Let somebody else know, you know what I'm saying? Let me keep you updated on this wicked world, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the last episode, though. You know what I'm saying? Episode 322, where I touched on Darius McQuarrie. You know what I mean? How he got arrested for child support and used SAW money to pay for a transsexual surgery. He had paid for it with the SAW money, and she had said that on No Jumper. Sydney Stars, who she was, also made a little edit clip of that in the credits of the last episode, in case you didn't see that. Also, a Category 5 Hurricane Melissa hit through Haiti and now heading towards Jamaica. I got some updates on that today. Also, I bet you know that Walmart was going through some rumors, and people was thinking that Walmart was going to be closing for 2 months starting November 1st due to this EBT shutdown, saying that they was trying to avoid the chaos, which was all false. You know what I mean? It was all started from an AI video that caused people to go into a frenzy. But I debunked it in case you didn't see it. And then also update on that robbery that happened out there in Paris that made 2 arrests. Also got some more details on how they was able to rob the museum. You know what I'm saying? Also let you know on that. You feel me? That was last episode of 322. Quick little recap of that. You know what I mean? So now there's no more chit chat, you know what I'm saying? No more banter, you feel me, on this fine Taco Tuesday, Titty Tuesday, whatever it is that you want to call this good Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? It is a good Tuesday, October 28th, you know what I mean? You got October, got Halloween coming up, you know what I'm saying? Take your kids trick-or-treating and all that. I'll probably be out on the block smoking a joint, walking down in the street while my kids is trick-or-treating house to house on the sidewalk. That's usually how that goes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, happy Halloween, though. You know what I mean? It's Halloween weekend. You feel me? I love spooky time. You know what I'm saying? But without no more chit-chat or banter, you know what I mean? Let's jump right into these topics today. You know what I'm saying? I got an update. Like I told you earlier during the recap, I got an update on Hurricane Melissa. And also, we going to talk a little bit about Millibars. I'm going to let my audience know what Millibars is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it was. I had to educate myself this morning. You know what I'm saying? About 2-3 hours of educating myself on what Millibars is without just typing in a Google search. Also, I got some info on the David case, the TikTok story with the body found in the front of the Tesla. You know what I mean? And Celeste Rivas, you feel me? Also, I got a new update on Diddy and the release date. They have a date set. You know what I'm saying? I got updates as first. You know, I got clips flawless. You know what I mean? I got clips to go along with everything I'm saying all the time. You know what I mean? So let's jump right into these topics. You feel me? First one up is update on Hurricane Melissa. You know what I'm saying? Hurricane Melissa is what they call the hurricane that's going to be sweeping through, heading towards Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? They say it's growing in strength as it approaches land. In Jamaica, they say is at 893 millibars. You know what I mean? That is a weight measurement on the air pressure and how fast the wind speeds are going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's the pressure of the inside of the storm. You know what I mean? The lower that number on the millibars is, the more devastating the wind is going to be. You know what I'm saying? With 893 millibars, that means that this storm will have a sustained wind speed of 180 to 200 miles per hour of winds. You know what I'm saying? The average calm water setting with nothing going on, no wind speed and none of that, is about 1,000 or more millibars of pressure. You know what I'm saying? So the lower the number is, the more violent and devastating that the hurricane is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And also is measured by the height of the storm and how high that it is going up into the sky. You know what I'm saying? From the ground to the sky, it's also measured in that way. You feel me? So this video right here you're gonna see is just a little education on what millibars is. Check these clips out real quick.
Terms and weather that are often spoken but rarely explained, and millibars is one of them. Simply put, millibars are a measure of pressure in the atmosphere, and this measurement changes with height. It starts at about 1,000 millibars for sea level and just goes down as the pressure decreases with height. So let's say I'm talking about 500 millibar wind speed. This simply means I'm looking at the wind speed at a height in the atmosphere where the pressure is 500 millibars. And when forecasting tornadoes, it's helpful to know which height in the atmosphere you're talking about, and that's why millibars is helpful. As always, stay safe. We keep chasing.
Bomb cyclones sounds scary, but what are they? In short, a bomb cyclone is a storm that blows up really quickly, like within 24 hours quick. The process behind it is called bombogenesis. So what happens is that a cold polar air mass collides with a warm air mass. Usually this happens over the ocean, where bomb cyclones can form most efficiently. With the right conditions, the central pressure in the storm drops extremely quickly. The rule of thumb is more than 24 millibars in 24 hours. This rapid drop in pressure is the key characteristic of this weather phenomenon. It makes a bomb cyclone grow faster than other storms. And the difference in pressure between the center of the storm and its surrounding creates intense winds. So what does that mean for you? A bomb cyclone can bring crazy strong winds, heavy rain, or even
it's just a little something telling you what millibars is. You know what I'm saying? Telling you what millibars is. I don't know what it was, so I wanted to inform you on what it was. Now that we know what millibars is, we got a better understanding of what that is. You know what I'm saying? This new storm that's headed to Jamaica is at 893. You know what I mean? That is new breaking records. You know what I'm saying? That is bigger than Hurricane Milton, the one that devastated through Florida last year. That is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I think that was at about 800. It was about 900 or something like that. You know what I mean? This is 893, and it was at 896. So it is increasing as it gets closer to the land. You know what I'm saying? So now that we understand what millibars are all about, let's check these next clips out on updates on this storm in Jamaica. Check these clips out.
All right, guys, some breaking information as the hurricane hunters have made the first pass of their morning travels. The first one, of course, is the Air Force plane that left Curacao. The plane that's coming from the north is the NOAA plane from Lakeland. They have not gotten in there yet. But the news from the United States Air Force as they went through this thing, 893.5 millibars. That's the drop. Okay, remember, we started with the 901 from the 5 a.m. advisory. Didn't change at 8 because we didn't have a plane out there. Now we do. Now we've gotten a drop to 893 millibars. Incredible. That is the 4th lowest pressure on record in the Atlantic Basin right now, as I'm telling you about it. And you saw the wind from the hurricane hunters up around 200 miles an hour. There it is right there. It's actually off the scale. We only go to 200 on our chart here. So absolutely incredible. All right. So now they go out the east side of it, obviously they're going to measure the length of those hurricane force winds. How far out do they extend from the center? And likely the northern part of this kind of inner, not the most inner eye wall, but the kind of this outer eye wall is coming on shore right now. Those are going to be sustained hurricane force winds down near the Black River area and down in toward Jamaica. Absolutely unbelievable sight. The visible imagery is coming in, and Steph pointed this out earlier. When we kind of zoom in here, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can see these striations. They look like eyelashes coming off of this thing. These are gravity waves, and they are almost symmetric coming away from the center. And look at the lightning. This thing is still deepening. It's still intensifying before it comes ashore. Say a lot of prayers for Jamaica, guys. They're going to need it. Here's Black River. Here you can see that sustained hurricane force wind now coming ashore. The 150 to 200 plus mile an hour winds are in this red area, okay? And you can see that's actually the center is only 22 miles offshore. Veronica, go to the outside of that bright red. I want to see what that is in terms of how close it is. It's probably like 17, miles or so. Well, 10 if you go to the blue ring. All right, so it's not far. We're not far from getting the worst of this coming on shore near Black River here. So, just the blue, the red, this is what we're looking at here. This is all coming ashore. We're talking about winds that are going to be likely sustained over 150 miles an hour. We have 100 here. This I don't think is doing it justice. And then eventually, as we get to lunchtime, Montego Bay from the north and east, 100 plus mile an hour gusts. Incredible. And likely sustained winds, actually, at that. We may gust to 200 in some of these places. And remember, there are mountains in between here. Some of these go up 2, 4, 5,000 feet. And we're going to see, the winds at even a higher rate the higher up you go. What did you say, Veronica? Okay, so they jumped up to 180 with the winds officially. 896 is the pressure that they're going to adjust to. So we do at 896. I'm trying to think of where that is. It's top 7. Okay, we know that. We know it's top 7 in terms of pressure. So here you go. There's always adjustments that are made from the plane. Did we get the exact reading? Were we, is the barometer a little off? This, that, and the other thing. But either way, it's horrible. It's horrible. 180. And of course, pressure down there in the sub 900 millibar range. Now, it's going to weaken a little bit as it comes towards southern Cuba, but not a whole heck of a lot. We may still have a bona fide Cat 4 here coming across southern Cuba, which will weaken further by what are the tallest mountains in Cuba right here. They sit right, you couldn't have put this thing in a better spot. But either way, Cuba's going to get whacked big time. Then the Turks and Caicos as we go through the day tomorrow. So it'll be a daytime situation for you, nighttime for Cuba. But winds are going to be upwards of 90 to 100 miles per hour here. That's why we have hurricane warnings. And you can see Clarence Town touching 100, Clockburn Town as well. These very small islands. There's going to be a lot of help needed here, guys. I can't sugarcoat this. This is horrible. Horrible.
I'm with you, kind of speechless at this moment, getting chills.
You know what I'm saying? That was just updates on that storm that's coming in, that's heading towards Jamaica, that's coming to pummel through and tear through and lose and destroy a bunch of homes and people's lands and all that. It is headed towards Jamaica. That's an update on that storm. You know what I'm saying? That's probably going to hit sometime today. New info on the David case. You know what I'm saying? David, the dude, the TikToker with David and Celeste Revis Hernandez. You know what I'm saying? The new information on that. Not too much information, you know what I'm saying? But definitely some new information came out on that. You know what I'm saying? So new information came out that we all know that. I told you that the homeowners had launched their own private investigation. And in that investigation, they have found that somebody had moved the Tesla at some point in time. This is after they believed that Celeste was in the trunk. They believe that this person moved the Tesla and did not know possibly that there was a body in the trunk of the car. You know what I'm saying? There was a picture that he posted on Instagram that he had a t-shirt on that read, "That sounds gay, I'm in." You know know what I'm saying? And he's laying on the couch with another man, and then he has his hand under that man as that man is laying on the other side of him. You know what I mean? So he's having a physical connection with the man in the pic. You feel me? With a t-shirt on like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's trying to put the word that he's homosexual. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who the dude is. I've just been following this case. You know what I'm saying? But this is someone that the owners, after they did their private investigation, they think that he is the one who might have moved that Tesla. You know what I'm saying? They definitely have identified a bunch of different pictures and made comparisons to posts that he had posted with Celeste in this house. We have already known that he was with Celeste. We already known that he was definitely intimate with Celeste. They were definitely close, and she was definitely in that house awful lot. You know what I mean? We already know that. And so now it's down to this person and who this person is, that after they launched the private investigation, it's all about who that is, and that person may have moved that Tesla. You know what I mean? So these next little clips that you're about to see is definitely Khadisha Lynn gonna let you know a little bit more information on that David case. Check these clips out.
More information coming out about Celeste Rivas Hernandez and David. Yesterday, we talked about the private investigator who is looking into this case, who went on Long Crime Network and Ashley Banfield and said that he knows who is the last person who moved David's Tesla. In these two interviews, he said that when he was going through all of this video footage and he was able to see who moved David's car, he was never able to confirm that Celeste went in and out of the LA home or that her body was moved to the Tesla from that home. And he claimed from what he learned that he believed that Celeste was actually staying at another home, and she was also seen a lot in downtown LA. When this private investigator said that he believed that Celeste was staying at another home that David possibly would go and see her at, the people on Reddit started digging, and they found something that could be huge. People on Reddit were able to find this address that David would actually be filming a lot at on TikToks, and also seen in multiple pictures in this home with Celeste. Here's a picture of the kitchen inside this home, and it is the same kitchen that David is seen live streaming with Celeste in this video. A lot of people feel like there is a potential that David was actually renting this home, because he is seen on multiple TikToks inside of this home, and on this one he said, "Forgot I left my stove on while recording my cover, bruh." On all of the listings of this home, this is the same exact bathroom that we just saw David in that TikTok. And this bathroom is also where David would take this photo in front of this picture with Celeste. When you go through his social media, there is a lot more videos and pictures that you can reference back to this home, but these are the two major ones because these are photos that he is seen with in this home with Celeste. This home where David is seen in multiple photos with Celeste and also saying this is where he records music is only 4 minutes away from his home in LA, where the Tesla was very close to. And we know that times that David was still renting his home in LA, he was also at this home. So a lot of people are wondering, is this a second home that David leased to record music? We know that David was still residing in this home at the time of these photos and things, because the homeowner of the LA home that was raided said that Josh Marshall, David's manager, signed the lease for this home in February of 2024. And all of these different websites that talk about the listings of this home, it said that the listing was removed on 7/21 of 2022. Then all of a sudden on March 8th of 2025, it then came back up for rent. And this really started to pique people's interest, because it appeared that whoever was in this home that potentially knew David, or if it was potentially David, then moved out of this home. A lot of people are very suspicious with this timeline because some of the things that the private investigator talked about during this interview that he did with News Nation and Long Crime Network. He claimed in these interviews that David's Tesla that Celeste was later found in the front of that Tesla stopped being used in the beginning of the year in 2025. The PI then stated that after that Tesla was not being used in the beginning of the year, he was able to find out that the red Tesla that was seen during the search warrants was leased in February of 2025. He also claimed after talking to David's friends and going through a camera, the last known photo of Celeste alive that he saw was January of 2025. It is odd to see shortly after these timelines that the private investigator gave, this house is then listed for rent again after years. There's a lot of people wondering. This PI said based off pictures that he saw, it was like Celeste was in a whole nother home with David and other places in LA. We know that friends told other media sources that David would allegedly take her to venues and things in LA. Now this second house is popping up in David's social media and in multiple pictures where Celeste and him are together at this home. Everybody is really curious if this is a potential house where something could have happened. Not gonna lie, the timeline of events is really creepy, and the fact that these people on Reddit found this second house and was able to pull all of this information is honestly amazing. I'm curious what, if anything, we might potentially hear about this second home. Another big thing that people are curious about now that this private investigator went on Long Crime Network and Ashley Banfield is the fact that days before this, he put out this tweet wanting to know if David's friend Neo was the one that moved this Tesla. A lot of people are wanting to know if this PI posted this because he already knew who this person was, because he is claiming that he was able to ID the last person that moved this Tesla by looking at public Instagram posts. He claimed that he was able to ID them with what they were wearing 12 hours earlier. Neo was around David during the time that they would go on this tour. As of right now, we have no names confirmed about who was this last person that is caught on camera moving David's Tesla shortly before he would leave on tour. And we also don't know if the person that moved this Tesla even knew that anybody was in the front of this Tesla. I'm sure we're about to find all of this out soon enough, but y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Oh shit. Oh, y'all can see me? We live? Yeah, hope you enjoyed that last clip. You know what I mean? Hope you enjoyed that last clip. So now is a good, perfect time in the middle of this episode for you to hit that subscribe button. You feel me? Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Comment on something that you might see in this episode that might trigger you to say something. Go ahead and hit the comment button and let your thoughts flow. Let me know what you think on what you're seeing. You know what I mean? But yeah, though, you know what I'm saying? Now's your time to hit that subscribe button. If you ain't, you know what I mean? Go ahead and hit that shit right now. You know what I mean? Let's get back to that. You know what I mean? That was Kadisha Lynn letting you know furthermore into that case and the new information that have came out on that David case. You know what I mean? Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Diddy has got a release date. You know what I mean? Diddy has got a release date of May 8th, 2028. You know what I'm saying? Diddy has got a release date. Finally got a date for that. You know what I mean? They also believe that he's definitely going to appeal that. You know what I'm saying? And try to get out at the earlier time. It is said that he's going to join some type of class. You know what I mean, in jail to get a earlier time knocked off of his sentence. You know what I mean? They had talked to Diddy's team and said that he had definitely reached out to the Trump administration and presidency for some type of pardon. You know what I mean? You're going to see in this next clip a lady that was on Diddy's team that has definitely let you know that they have definitely reached out to Trump administration for pardon. You know what I mean? So this next little clip you're about to see is a lady from CNN going to talk furthermore on Diddy's release date and what's going on, anything tied to that situation of this release date and if they're going to appeal and all that. Check this clip out.
Kons' prison release date has been set for May 8th of 2028. That according to public records from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Now, this comes after Sean Combs was sentenced by a judge earlier this month to 50 months or roughly 4 years. Obviously, May of 2028 is less than 4 years, but that is because this factors in his time served. You all may remember that Sean Combs has been at the MDC in Brooklyn since his arrest in September of 2024. Now, Sean Combs was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. A New York jury acquitted him of the more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering that could have put him behind bars for life or decades decades if convicted. Now, back in August, I interviewed one of Combs' defense attorneys who did acknowledge that their team had reached out to the Trump administration about a potential pardon. Have people in Sean Combs' orbit, have they had conversations with the Trump administration?
Yes. My understanding is that we have reached out.
Reached out is one thing, having a conversation is another. Do you know if there have been active conversations about a pardon?
Yes, it's my understanding that we've reached out and had conversations in reference to a pardon.
At the time, a White House official told CNN that they will, quote, not comment on the existence or non-existence of any clemency request. Now, President Trump had also told my colleague Caitlin Collins that Diddy did reach out regarding a pardon. Now, Diddy's team is also appealing his conviction.
You know what I'm saying? That was Kadisha Lynn letting you know about the Diddy case and how he got a release date. Not Kadisha Lynn. I'm tripping. Kadisha Lynn was on the last clip. That was a lady from CNN letting you know about the Diddy case and the release date. You know what I'm saying? And everything tied to that. You feel me? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's all I got for today. Quick little 3 topics, you know what I'm saying? Just a quick little 3 topics, you feel me? Before we get into the final and closing thoughts on these 3 topics, you know what I'm saying? Quick little recap of what we just went over and what I just let you know. You know what I'm saying? In case you got distracted, in case you was rolling up, in case you was pulling up, you could have been mixing a drink, pouring a concoction or something. Maybe you had to go discipline some kids or something. But in case you missed it and you want to go back and you want a quick little recap before you go back and watch, this is everything we talked about just now. You know what I'm saying? In case you missed it, I hit you with an update on Hurricane Melissa. Also let you know what Millibars is and how they measure the pressure and the wind speeds of category 1 through 5 of tornadoes and hurricanes. Also let you know new information on that David case, the TikTok star who was under a case about a girl who was bodied and cut up and found in the front trunk of his Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Also let you know new information on Diddy. They got a release date for him, May 8th, 2028. You know what I'm saying? Also let you know in the clips, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of people from his team, how if he had reached out for a pardon or no from Trump's administration, and he definitely has, as you heard in the clip. That's everything I just let you know. So now let's get to the final and closing thoughts of these 3 topics. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got too much to say on these topics, you feel me? But yeah, updates on Hurricane Melissa. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That hurricane is wild. We talking 200 miles an hour winds. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely devastating. For a fact that it's going to be more devastating and huger, more bigger than Hurricane Milton is wild, because Milton was devastating alone. And for this to be on a bigger level than what that was is definitely something groundbreaking and unprecedented. We ain't seen no storm like this before, and it seems to be growing as it's getting closer to the land, which is something else crazy. Storms usually calm down as they get closer to the land, but this one is definitely increasing in devastation, size, and millibars, pressure, wind speed, all of the above. You know what I'm saying? It is definitely increasing in everything as it gets closer, you know what I mean? Which is something also unprecedented. So is this being steered? You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments if you think that this is being steered. We also can't forget that we have a whole facility called HAARP, you feel me? Hyperactive Oral Research Program. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely an acronym, HAARP. You know what I mean? These are people who control the weather. You know what I'm saying? Weather is definitely controlled. Before it was a conspiracy, but now everybody knows about it, and they out in the public, out open with it. They'll tell you for sure that yes, we are engineering the weather for sure. You know what I mean? Cloud seeding is a thing. Everything. I mean, these things are just out now. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just think that this ain't man-made, that this ain't created, being that it's being steered right towards Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to believe that anything is a natural disaster anymore with something that they have that's a research of controlling the weather. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to believe that anything is just a natural disaster, because it's nothing natural about it no more if they are being facilitated and steered by human beings. You know what I mean? By creating storms, creating rain, snow, whatever the case may be. They have been studying the ionosphere and definitely studied frequencies, how to send vibrations and frequencies up to the ionosphere and disrupt things things and cause rain here, cause snow, cause a tornado there, you know what I'm saying? But things go haywire when you tamper with natural things, you know what I'm saying? Things go haywire because you did not create the natural thing. So you are tampering with it, and it's liable to go haywire. I think that's what goes on when we get these outrageous storms that we ain't never seen before and so on. I definitely think HAARP is behind it all. New info on the day vacation, you know what I'm saying? There ain't really too much new info, though. You know what I mean? We knew he was connected to the girl. We knew that they was together in the house. You know what I'm saying? He posted little pictures and reels and all that of them together in the house. We already knew that. You know what I'm saying? So ain't really too much info coming out besides him and this new guy. You know what I'm saying? And the picture that you seen in the clip of him laying on the couch touching the new guy with the t-shirt on, that red, that sounds gay, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he's putting out there that he's a homosexual or if he likes men. I don't know, dude. You feel me? I ain't never listened to dude music. You know what I'm saying? I never, you know what I mean? I wasn't up on Cuz at all. I wasn't up on Cuz music. I wasn't listening to it. Never heard a song. Can't tell you what 2 seconds of a song sound like. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the research I've been doing on this case, and his music been popping up, and I've been hearing it that way through just listening to a reel about information, and the bass been playing in the background type deal. But I ain't checked for it or download nothing to dudes. But yeah, no, I ain't really no new nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just a new case as far as dude moved to Tesla. You know what I'm saying? The dude he took the picture with, you know what I mean? And his manager is also a new suspect, or, you know what I'm saying, in this case, you feel me? Because something went on. You know what I'm saying? Something went on. She didn't get up and walk her own body parts to the trunk. You know what I mean? So some foul play definitely went on. Somebody definitely chopped her up, and somebody definitely put her in the trunk. She wouldn't even been able to fit if she wasn't chopped up in the trunk. You know what I mean? She wouldn't have been able to fit in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? So somebody definitely put that work in and definitely thought that out and stuffed her in there. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of finding out who did it, if there's any blood relation or anything of that nature. You know what I mean? But they definitely gonna get down to it, I believe. Or maybe he might get off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he committed a perfect murder, and maybe it ain't nothing tying him to that. I don't know. But I'll let you know as the information come out, though. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, though. You know what I mean? He definitely, like I said before, he a weird dude. You know what I'm saying? He was messing with her when she was young. You feel me? He was definitely well over the age, and she was definitely well underage. You feel me? It was no secret. It was no, maybe she's this age, maybe she's that age. No, she was well underage. You know what I'm saying? When you first started messing with her, and you was overage. So, with that being said, you know what I mean? He was a weirdo. Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Diddy got a release date May 8th. You know what I mean? Ain't too much information on that. Ain't too much to say on that. You know what I'm saying? His release date, they got a release date for him May 8th, 2028. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I think he's going to be out before that. You know what I'm saying? Being that they went light with him when they dropped the gavel on him. You know what I'm saying? 3 years, or a little bit over 3 years, is just for the type of things that he was convicted of. You know what I'm saying? The type of things that the charges that he was looking at, you know, I feel like any average Joe would have definitely got way more time than just a little bit over 3 years, 4 years, you know what I'm saying, for sure. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a case where money talks, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely money motivating and moving things, you know what I'm saying? Passing around, moving parts. Money is definitely active here in this case for sure. I believe so. I wouldn't be surprised if he do get a pardon. You know, so even though Trump put out the little, you know what I mean, he got the little interview with him saying, you know what I'm saying, nah, I don't know, I don't think so. You know what I mean? He said some bad things about me when I was running for president, whoop-de-whoop. I don't think Trump is going to pardon, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Trump, we don't have no expectations of that dude. That dude does exactly what he wants to. You feel me? Another thing we got to realize is that presidents are puppets. We got to realize that. You know what I'm saying? I've been having a bunch of different little conversations lately and about politics, presidents, and stuff like that. And a lot of people seem to be talking from a perspective of black and white on paper. You know what I'm saying? Or what you've been being told all your life. You have to let that go when it comes to presidency. President is going to do what he's told to do. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. He don't run anything. I think we all have to realize that. We all got to realize that presidents ain't elected. We don't have no power in voting. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no power to take our little ballot and put it in a little box and go fill out your name, address, and all that at the little ballot centers, these little underground little centers, buildings that you go put your ballot in. I don't feel that matter none. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. I think these presidents are selected 10, 15 years before they come in that office. And they just the face of chaos. That's all they is. You know what I'm saying? They just somebody we the people can point our finger at. You know what I mean? Unemployment is too high. You did it. It's your fault. You know what I'm saying? Food, EBT getting took, it's your fault. You know what I mean? Food prices too high, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? Wars going on, it's your fault. We're bombing Palestine, killing kids and innocent people over there, it's your fault. War between Israel and Beirut and whatever been going on with the war, I ain't following in a minute, but it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? The president is just somebody that we can point that finger at and say it's your fault. He's the face of chaos. We gotta realize he don't call no shots. You know what I mean? He's just doing everything he's told to do. You know what I'm saying? The best president is the president that sits there, folds his hands, and does what he says. Does what he told and does what he's told. That's it. That's a great president in the government's eyes. You feel me? They want people to just bow down, tuck their tail, and do what they say. You feel me? If they say go down the block, hit a left and make a right, they want you to just get to walking, make a left and make a right down the block. You know what I mean? No issue, no talk back, no nothing. You feel me? They want total totalitarian control. I think we all got to realize that and wake up. We can't just be going by the black and white and what you've been told all your life, thinking that the government's trying to help you or for you, or none of that. But that's how I'm in this episode, though. You know what I'm saying? With the final closing thoughts, you feel me? I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope it hit you with some information. And I hope I taught you what Millibars are. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know, so I wanted to share that with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I hope I taught you what that is. I hope you didn't go and Google it, you know what I'm saying, and just look it up and give me a fast answer of what Google said. Nah, I really understand what that is. You know what I mean? I had to really understand what it is because I ain't never heard of it, didn't know what it was. But yeah, though, you know what I'm saying? This episode 323. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. You know what I mean? You could have done anything you wanted to do, no matter who you was. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was a little brother, or older brother, whether you was a little sister, or older sister, whether you was a niece and nephew, or uncle or auntie, whether you was a grandpa, or grandfather, mother, father, you know what I mean? Whoever you was, you could have been cousin Poogie, cousin Noogie, cousin Tutu, cousin Man, you know what I'm saying? Whoever you was, and if you got pets sitting there with you, and you sitting there petting your pet, whether your pet could be a cat, you have a pet dog, a pet bearded dragon, a pet hedgehog, you could have a pet turtle. You know what I'm saying? You have a pet pig, a pet hyena. You can have a pet warthog. You know what I'm saying? You can have a pet fish, a pet goldfish. You know what I mean? Whoever your pet is, you feel me? If they watching Kons podcast, I definitely salute to them. Like you see the homie scrolling up the screen. You know what I mean? The beat you hear creeping up was made by no other than Infectious. You know what I'm saying? Infectious, a beat collect the beats. You know what I mean? West Coast Killer B. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Peep this beat out while these credits roll up the screen with my little last minute commentations on what I talked about on today's show. You know what I'm saying? I might put some little funny edits in the background again. You know what I mean? You never know. But that's for the people who watch to the very end. You know what I mean? I try to do something in the background of them credits that you can watch, maybe laugh, you know what I'm saying? Crack a smile at, whatever the case may be. You feel me? Because you watching to that very end. And I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all next episode. This has been episode 323. Thank you for tuning in.
Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you? Wake me, don't you?
by a judge earlier this month to 50 months, or roughly 4 years.
For about 10 minutes here. 180, what's the pressure?
Wait me, don't you?
Yeah, this is out of the pressure is now down to 896.
Wait me, don't you?
Alright, I'm going to hold it together here. So 896 millibars
Wait me, don't you?
is stronger than Hurricane Milton when it made that run.
More information coming out about Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Wait me, don't you?
Yesterday, we talked about the private investigator who is looking into this case, who went on the Long Crime Network and Ashley
Wait me, don't you?
and said that he knows who was the last person who moved it.
That they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You